I've been wanting to make this message for a long time, but every time that I press record and I start, something happens and I don't finish. And I always took that to mean it's not time. I'm not supposed to do it. But it's been a minute since I've done a podcast. I'm getting ready for the spring. And everything is different. Don't want to do the things that I used to do. And everything keeps changing every day. Every day. So many changes. I wanted to read a metaphysical interpretation of the Bible. Master Vibration 13. Is something that is so intimate. Your self-healing is so intimate, is so private, and the experience is so important that it has to go to where it's going because I'm expanding. And so Master Vibration 13 will as well. As I sit here, I'm sitting here like, why am I sharing? I feel really hesitant to share anything at this point because being in this time that we're in right now where everything is so clear and we recognize that we are the reason for our realities, and we start to redesign, you start to become really particular in how you want to spend your time, the things that you want to do with the time that you have, because it's about feeling good. It's about having a high vibrational frequency always, so that you're able to manifest high vibrational experiences. And when you recognize that you're the reason, the cause for everything that happens in your life, you start to become more mindful with how you operate in your life, how you operate in all ways. You know, there's so many things that have been peeled away in this transformation, and I'm only gonna, it's like I know that it's happening all over the world, but our experience is so important that you can't just jumble it up with everybody and what everybody's going through, and what it is important to identify what you're going through at this time and how you are handling these changes and these challenges. That's what's important. The world is inundated with information right now. There is so much going on that there is nothing more important than detaching from everything that is not beneficial. And when you do that, your whole life changes. You have a completely different experience. And what I'm learning, what I've learned, what I know, is that I cannot take anybody with me where I'm going, where I am. People have to meet the frequency of what it is that they want to manifest in order to make that happen. It's really simple, but I know that it's not. It takes work, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes dedication, and it takes a shift in perspective. When you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. Ache. So I'm going to open this up because it is March 4th. I've been wanting to come in March 1st. I said I'm going to share. But what I've been experiencing and what I've been feeling is just the importance of listening to yourself. Like, nobody needs to be listening to me right now. Like, who's listening to me right now it's great and okay. And I shouldn't say that, but this is just how I feel. I feel that in this time, it's so important for you to listen to yourself and to listen to Source and have that communication line very clear. And in order to do that, you have to detach from things, from everything on the outside. And if you got somebody in your ear, anybody, just telling you what to do, you won't really know what to do because you're doing what somebody else is telling you to do. And it's important for you to know what to do for yourself. And I'm not saying don't listen to anybody or don't, you got to do this completely solo without any kind of guidance. But you have to really pay attention to where is that guidance coming from. And the only guidance that you should really trust is the one that comes from inside of you. The one that you know because you get the messages directly from Source and they're undeniable. And when you get them, you know what to do. You don't have to ask anybody. You don't really need a confirmation. But once you know, you start getting confirmation everywhere of what it is that you know. And the more you follow that, the more you do that, the more you're able to evolve in your own life. And what it takes, all of that are things that you know. This time of reaching outside of yourself to find solutions, that's just, it's really over. Because we're clear now. We know that you find it within yourself. So something said, so it's March 4th. It is, no. It is the 3rd. Look at me going so fast. Yeah. It's March 3rd. So I've been wanting to do this I just been wanting to do this podcast, but I was saying, they don't need to be listening to me. And then just feeling like it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't flowing, and it wasn't. And I've been in a space of just really with myself, Most High, and Neo, and Bastet, and Solution. So I'm going to open up a page and I'm going to see what it says. I haven't opened this in a while. I was in Southern California visiting Yemaya, the ocean. I had the most fantastic time. So many magical things happened. Like, it was just an amazing experience. And I'll talk more about that another time if I do. You know, I'm coming from a space of, I used to share everything on social media. I was always making videos. I was always sharing. And now I've come to the place of pure privacy, to the point of I don't have any interest in really speaking to anyone that is not, who's not in my reach. I'm not, it's a interesting space to be in, because I used to be that social butterfly. I used to be that person that was out networking and, making moves. And it's just so different now. It's so different now. And that's all I can say. So I've been in a zone, right? So I saw this beautiful double rainbow, and it was just the most amazing thing. Well, we saw it. Solution saw it, and then he called me out, and it was just the most amazing thing that I ever seen. Found a lizard, a alligator lizard a baby alligator lizard in the garbage can inside the house, and I thought it was dead. And when I took it out, came back to life. Well, it was never really gone. It's just really interesting. Just a lot of things. Lots of things. This is a very magnificent time, and I say that all the time, and it's I don't really have the words for my expression for how I feel about this time that we're in, and the peace that I feel, and the joy that I feel, and just being able to be here and experience this, every part of it, every bit of it. And it's been the challenges are real. The challenges are real, and they don't stop for anybody. You may have an idea of someone else and what you think, their life might be because of what they may express, but nobody knows what a person's going through and what challenges they might be overcoming or dealing with. Nobody knows. Sometimes people think they know. And then when you live with somebody, you really think you know. But then reality hits, and you recognize that you don't know. And you probably never did. Okay, so let's open it up and see what the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible has to say on March. You know what? It's funny because I was saying March 4th. It is March 4th because today is technically Saturday, because it is it's 12:39. 12:39. All right, let's go. What is the message today, Mr. Harefield? Source. Allah. Yahweh. Jesus. Okay. Page 618. To add emphasis to the above discussion, allow us to bring back the parable of the seed in relationship with the text found in Revelation. How does this relate to our present study? As we have pointed out earlier, the Church of Philadelphia, or Sixth Church, is in line with our second chakra, and it represents feelings and pleasure. It is the area in which we should be aware of the seed we plant, the seeds, plural, we plant. Will these seeds bloom into truth or illusions? The seed is the second of the parables offered by the Master. Interestingly enough, it also corresponds with the second energy center. This obviously implies that it is what the Master was attempting to have us understand. Let those with ears hear. The Creator's original intention was for us to carefully select the kernels and tend our personal garden in a divine way, as opposed to the physical, haphazard way in which we do. The brunt of the lesson is that we must harvest whatever we planted, wherever it fell. The allegory pertains to our thoughts, our emotions, and most importantly, our actions. In the seeding, if the seeding was spiritual and it came to a successful fruition, so much the better. If the seeds were for the pleasures found in the material world, we will face the same harvest and its subsequent consequences. In the end, we will experience joy or sorrow when the seals of our book of life will be opened. Again, the Master attempted to help us in this matter when he told us that where our treasure is, there shall our heart also be. For many centuries, we have tasted the harvest of a material world. To release it all will not be an easy task. Revelation seems to go along with this perspective. It will be even more difficult in our present era because it is all that we seem to know. It will not be as harsh for those who are willing and have greater inner flexibility to start a new clean life. It reminds us of the Master's story about the rich man who asked him how he could get into heaven, and the Master's answer was short and concise. All the rich man had to do was sell everything he had and simply follow him. Of course, the young man could not do it. It now appears that we, as a society, are unable to do it either. Thus, we are unable to take the higher path and earnestly journey into our own higher consciousness. When we remember the true location of heaven, we can also deduce that the rich man and many of us are unable to look within ourselves. The outer world has overshadowed our spiritual aspect, and if we cannot enter our deepest attribute, we cannot be God realized in our consciousness. It is ours, and we may do it, and let me start again. It is ours, and we may do with it what we desire. It was and is our gift from the Creator. Today, the great majority of us focus on the outside substance, therefore leaving the inside devoid of spiritual awareness. We cannot find the entrance to our own temple and the opening of the sixth seal. I'm going to start that one again. We cannot find the entrance to our own temple and the opening of the sixth of the sixth seal will point us in that direction. The second seal will not. In fact, it will block us from this entrance. Metaphorically, we can say that going within is to look at the fields we have planted as a result of the seeds we sowed hither and yon. It is a good opportunity to ask ourselves whether we took the time to separate the seeds of truth from the seeds of error before we planned them, thinking that they could be discarded at a later time. Did we sow them in rich soil rather than upon rocks and thorns? Have we watered them regularly with the waters of our emotions to ensure their proper growth? Once we arrive within sight of our fields, will we find weeds among the divine and positive things we have planted? In her own way, was Mary Magdalene thinking of these weeds when she wrote about the 7 wraths of the heart? Can they be included in the Master's words when he said, "As above, so below"? It fits in that what our minds conceive, our hearts will allow, and will become contaminated by the negative ego-based thoughts that we produce and with which we live. Our inner emotional base will be weeded and uprooted when the seal is open. There will be wide open spaces ready for replanting with healthy productive seeds as though replacing illusions by truth. Karma tells us that as we sow, so shall we reap. If the weeds overtake the good seed, what kind of crop will we harvest? We certainly cannot pick grapes from a thorn bush. In Revelation, it is not so much about the seeds than it is about the sower and the personal responsibility that he or she must demonstrate, not only in what is planted, but how its growth is maintained. I have to stop here because this is always what's needed, and it's like makes so much sense to what I was speaking about, and precisely the reason why my separation from everything and everyone has been so important to me, because I am very mindful of what I am planting, how I'm planting it, and I'm not trying to be responsible for people making decisions that are not beneficial for them. So I don't want people to do things because I do them or because I'm doing it in my life. This is an experience, and I share this experience and I share this information for those that have ears to hear. And I want to do it in such a way where people recognize the power in their own experience and how important it is for them to come to their own self-realization of who they are and what they came here to do. I've always had the hesitation, although it may not seem like it because I'm an infinionaire to the heart, but, the word infinionaire and connecting with that and what that means, I never wanted people to feel like it was a brand that you could just attach and, I'm an infinionaire because, I know SCG-13 and Solution, and I've been, knowing them for a long time or whatever. And so I know about the game of what infinionaire is. But what I've learned and what I know is that infinionaire is not something that is not a title that could be given to anybody. It is something that we are organically, but it's up to every individual to recognize what that is and unleash that within themselves. Like nobody could give you the title of infinionaire. You have to recognize that on your own and become that, because it's for you to be. an infinite. That is your birthright. That is your divine inheritance, to have this infinite source, abundance of all things beneficial. It is your divine right to connect directly to source without a middleman. You're an infinite being. So that is who we all are, but it's not something like, fake it till you make it, where you're, how people believe that, well, I'm just going to say that I'm a millionaire, and one day I'm going to have the money and, have that. And Infinity recognizes that you are the money. And in order to have that recognition and that knowledge, you have to feel it. You have to know it is something that you know because you feel it, you experience it, not because somebody told you that that's what you are or that's what it is. You have to come to your own realization through your experience of what an infinite is and what that means. And when you recognize that you are the money, you are the solution all the time. You're an infinite. You have direct access to source 24/7, all day, every day. Everything that you ask for, it is giving. And it is given. And you are not asking with your words. You are asking with your frequency, your vibration, who you are, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. That's how you're asking. Not by, what you wrote down. All of those things are important. Yes. Write down your intention. That's part of making magic. That's part of making it happen. But you got to feel it. You have to be that you want so that you could manifest it. You have to be in the feeling of that you want. You have to become what it is that you want. For the new season of Master Vibration 13, Private Study of Yourself, I am on a mission to help people recognize their infinite nature. And it's not like what I thought it was going to be in terms of, I'll have this, I'm going to create this site and people are going to know. And, this is, first of all, it's very much a private venture. Very much a private venture because, in the midst of all of this wonderful, all of this fantastical wonderfulness that's going on in the world, we're at war. For real. We totally are. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't recognize yourself as a sovereign being, as the administrator of your life, then there's going to be things coming along. I'll be talking more about this on the 20th. There's going to be things that are coming along that are really going to make people recognize where it is that they stand and where you've already made your choice, put it like that. And so right now it's time to follow through with the choices that you've made. And so in this new world that we're creating, the old is done. It's over. Babylon has fallen and we're creating a new world right now. And where is that? What is that? You decide. We decide. I've decided. And so I'm going with that. I'm going with my faith. I'm going with source. I'm going with my infinite nature. I'm going with this magic that I am. And so that's what I'm following. And I'm doing my ministry through just being who I am. People need to remember what ministry is and what religion is and what our rights are organically, our unalienable rights. And so I don't want to be up on anybody's stage preaching to people, telling people, oh, you should do this and this is, what's best, or this is, like, I just really feel like that time is done. I just want to be what I am. I want to be the example of what I believe. And those that have ears to hear, and those that have the heart to take action. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody came to do what they came here to do. And I just want to be free, free, free. The whole idea of having people judge you or ridicule you or, all of these things, it's like that world doesn't exist anymore, and it doesn't exist for me anymore, and I don't wish it upon anybody else. So it is just time for me to live my life and enjoy it in a way that I never have before, in a freedom that I've never gotten to experience until this time here now. And so it's looking different, it's feeling different. So I know it's all going to be different. And so I just want to make sure, and you all know that we're always connected, but it's time to, those things that you've heard me talk about, those things that you've heard me share, it's just time to do it. That's all. It's time to do it, and we have to be single in purpose. And I can't do that and this at the same time. So I have to really, do everything accordingly. And so that is what I intend to do. I hope that today's reading from A Metaphysical Interpretation of the Bible by Stephen L. Harefield made sense to you, that you connected to it. I know that you did. And if you don't have the book, you can go into the study group, and in the Metaphysical Bible study tab, you have the link to the PDF of the book, so you can check out page 618. And we went to 618, 619, and we ended at 620. And that's all I have to say. Neo and Bastet is sitting here chilling, enjoying the vibe here at the Master Vibration 13 layer. I think about you all a lot. Every single one of you. I do. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys on the 20th. This call that we're having on the 20th is actually for iSyndicate. And it's a lot to share, lots of changes, and I'm excited about it all. Yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna say about that, because I don't want to ramble. I just want you guys to know that those of you that have taken the path of ministry, it is really a independent ministry. Infinity Ministries, independent ministries. And this is so important. We will be talking more about that in the iSyndicate meeting on March 20th. Those of you that are not part of the iSyndicate, that are just in the private study group and are contributors, we will be in contact. I'll be connecting with each one of you to just talk a little bit more how we're going to move forward in this journey. I appreciate your time today. Remember that what is happening now in your reality, in your experience, you have the power to transform it and to shift it to what you desire it to be. You've always had the power and you know how to do it. You just have to trust yourself to do it. It's okay to jump. What's next? It's always what it's supposed to be. We have to find the gems in the challenges because they're always there. Whatever you look for, you're going to find it. This is not a time to be in a low vibration. It is detrimental no matter what is happening in your life. And the challenges are existing for everyone. No matter what you are going through in your life, it is 100% up to you to lift yourself from that space. Do whatever you have to do to get it done. That's what you must do. Depend on your source of power that is within you, and everything will open up. Venus and Jupiter has just aligned, and it has been, I don't want to say what it has been, because I don't want to influence anybody to believe or think and feel any words that anybody is putting out in the air. Take a deep breath and feel this energy. Take it in. Look around you. Think about what is happening in your life and what you want to happen, because this is the time to make it so. But you have to know that, Infinitaire. You have to know that. I'll leave it at that. Gracias. Solution sends his love. He's not in here right now, but he's always with us. And Neo is requesting his time. So, hasta la próxima. Adios, everyone. Say bye, Neo.